Hey guys, it's your boy Josh. Are you planning to rent out a property, like maybe posting it somewhere online, and you don't know which platform you want to post it on? Maybe you're deciding if you're going to use Airbnb or booking.com. So, no worries. I'm here to lay out all the details that you need to know before you choose in which online platform should you use. So, first off, we're gonna see how easy it is to list your property on both of these websites. First up, let's talk about Airbnb. So, Airbnb, um, as a platform, is designed with underused properties and shared spaces in mind. It is easier to list rooms and homestays here, so you can opt to list your property as a whole or as individual rooms just as easily. Now, next, with Booking.com, they mainly focus on hotels, and listing homestays can be quite taxing. Listing individual rooms can leave you feeling quite drained, especially for first timers. Next is how's the traffic or the booking traffic for both of these websites. So for Airbnb, as they are the market disruptor, so they have a marketing message that is focused on customer experience and has built their own culture, as there are people who only look into Airbnb rather than exploring other options. While Booking.com, on the other hand, they aim at securing as many bookings as possible for its properties, and its hosts have its hardcore marketing and retargeting practices to thank for. Now, how about the guest? So, the guest host interaction for both of these are um, as per experience for Airbnb, the host really tend to chat with the guests, and they discuss requirements, house rules, and other stuff related to the booking before actually showing up at the property. While this allow hosts to make a good first impression and give guests an insight into exactly what to expect during their stay. However, hosts who handle multiple properties may find this quite taxing, especially during peak seasons. Since if you're a host and you have a lot of bookings coming in, and you're using Airbnb, you would be really flooded with messages. On the other hand, with booking.com, usually most hosts meet their guests for the first time when they check in. This could go well most of the time, but the chances of there being gaps between what the guest expects from the property and service are quite high. So if that happens, usually there's no how do I say this? There's no um somewhat preemptive measures that are happening. So you're gonna see the property once you're already there, because the host doesn't communicate much through booking BNB before you go to the place that you are renting, right? So first impressions. As for your guests, for Airbnb, they have a reviewing system where hosts review their guests based on their experiences. Additionally, hosts can decide based on reviews from other property owners where they would accept these guests. Some hosts maintain that guests feel obliged to cooperate and adhere to house rules for this reason. On booking.com, however, they don't maintain any inventory on guest behavior, and hosts don't really have a clue about what they are in for, as there is nothing that would prevent problematic guests from using other properties on the platform. Some hosts may end up with guests that other properties may have banned. So this is one of the things that you would really like as a host, because for me, Airbnb really has the upper hand in this, since it really prevents you from um, trouble along the way or challenges along the way, since as per experience, I have already seen bad things happening with things like this. Guests try to, or not really try, but they really do violate the rules. They somehow vandalize the place, and you don't want that to happen. So the chances of that happening with Airbnb is really really low, since you could review the behavior of your guest uh, in accordance with their previous bookings. So for the pricing, as a host, Airbnb has two types of charges. One is the split fee, where hosts are charged a fixed 3% commissions when bookings are made. A further 13% is charged as guest commissions. So if you list your property, let's say for $100 to Airbnb, the site will charge customers 113, which may take the competitive edge away from your property. Now, the second is the host only fees, which is mandatory in most geographical locations for Airbnb, where the host bears the commission, which is 15% of the total amount. On the other hand, Booking.com charges a minimum of 15% from its hosts as commissions. We say minimum because hosts can opt to pay a higher commission in exchange for better visibility in the platform. So I guess I don't really need to explain much of this, since it's already very clear. Now, for cancellations, so for hosts, it is easier and in most cases cheaper for hosts to make cancellations for whatever reason on Booking.com, as the platform would direct guests to properties nearby with similar amenities and ratings, with property owners having to cover only extra costs incurred. Airbnb, however, makes it more difficult for hosts to cancel and can penalize the hosts heavily for it, making it one of the main reasons more hosts prefer other platforms to Airbnb. So it's fairly clear that in the cancellation category, Booking.com has the upper hand, right? Next and last category would be damage control. So, in case of a bad experience with guests, Airbnb hosts can review their guests so that other hosts are forewarned. In case of property damage, they have the option of making claims up to $1 million. However, all receipts have to be submitted to Airbnb, and they decide whether the receipt is claimable. According to most hosts, replacement of stolen goods such as ornaments or guest towels and etc. are non-claimable. On the other hand, with Booking.com, it is pretty straightforward. They have no claimable budget for damages. The only action, if any, that can be taken is that host can block said guest from visiting their property in the future. So, clearly, in this last category, Airbnb wins over Booking.com. But the question that is to be answered is, which one should you choose as a host? So, basically, I have laid out all the vital information, and the last decision that you need to do is to choose whether you're going to go with Airbnb or you're going to go with Booking.com. So, the decision on how to do this is fairly easy, and you just really need to keep in mind all of these factors. Your your property. What type of property? Like, do you own a hotel? Do you own um just a house beside the beach or whatnot? Because again, Booking.com is good with hotels and good with um a whole house that is to be rented. Or do you plan, or do you plan to rent out your property by by the rooms or as a whole? Because Airbnb is also good with that. Now, going back to the factors, that's one of the things that you need to consider: your property. What exactly do you need? Like, what exact benefits or services that you need? Because these two factors are one of the biggest factors that would really influence the decision that you are going to make in choosing which of these two platforms are you going to use to rent out your property. So that's all that you need to know, and do the best decision so that you won't be having trouble along the way. That's all for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to like and share this video, and also please hit that subscribe and notification bell for a lot of more videos like this. This is your homeboy Josh, and I'm gonna see you on the next one.